Grab your pots and pans. It's time to cook. Don't forget the spatula. Watch this.
Say a lot of things that people can build off of. All of the time, people walk up to me and be like, man, you know what? I was going through it with my girl, but after what you said, man, I get it. It ain't nothing. It's just a thing. It happens. You get what I'm saying? So through time, I've put in enough work where even though I am a stand-up comedian primarily, I'm also a preacher. I do things to give people the light without the Bible in my hand. So that's the difference between me and the average preacher. The average preacher walks around holding the Bible. I make quotes that are Bible-like that I didn't even read out the Bible because I didn't read the Bible all the way through, but I did listen to it on audio. I don't know if that, is that the same thing if you listen to the audio, if you
What
read?
version?
Now, welcome on into another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. Someone sent me this last night. It just came out and they wanted me to react to it. So here I go, right? Smash that like button if you agree. Subscribe to the channel so you get the latest updates. And click them links down below to add some value into your life, right? So this one right here is a Corey Holcomb interview with Cam Newton. And I thought this was a brilliant interview, but I wanted to react to it. I'm freshly reacting to it right now. So this is my first reaction, first take. Let's get it.
For sure.
Whatever version was on that audio, it started out with Adam and Eve. Eve, you a funky bitch. We living in sin because of your ass, goddammit. Eating from the forbidden tree ass. Go ahead.
This ain't blasphemy.
What is blasphemy? What that mean? I heard of it before. I just want to make sure I know.
Now, people might say that, hey, you don't joke around with religion because, you know, it's unethical. And I get that argument, but this man is a comedian. There's no territory that he cannot go into. So you got to understand, my grandparents always told me this. There's truth in jokes, so be careful what people laugh about because there's truth in it. And the way I see it is that he's not so far from the truth, right? He's not so far from the truth. But let me know what you guys think. Continue to watch.
What do you mean?
Okay, so when you take quotes out of the Bible and you turn it in a way that it wasn't intended for it to kind of be.
So how was it intended? I said that just, I'm throwing it back at you.
Yeah.
The Bible is intended for people to read it. Now,
pause. For example, did they say anything about Ray Charles making all them songs? Well, I guess if you say so, I'm gonna have to buy my bags and go. That's right. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more. Did they say anything about him? Well, actually, they did say something about that, but he still continued to make hits. And he was like, I'm sure Ray Charles was like, I can't even see what you're saying anyway. So what does it matter? Smash that like button if you agree. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Healthy discussion has begun.
Now, my interpretation of the Bible, how can it be wrong? The first lie ever told was when the devil lied to Eve when she was out there in the forest without her man.
That part.
He was like, hey, come here, bitch, you ever ate from this tree right here? And he was like, no, we ain't supposed to eat that. And then the devil was like, bitch, eat the motherfucking apple. Then after she ate the apple, she got Adam to eat the apple, and then God kicked him out the garden. This is what happens when your bitch is out there by herself. If your woman is in the street by herself, she is in danger. The devil is going to get to her and make her do stuff she wouldn't have did if you was with her.
I mean, how he put it. Some people might say it's not what you say, it's how you saying it. So this may not be for the sensitive Sallies. It may not be for you. But what he's saying actually makes sense, right? Guys are supposed to protect, provide, add on to your life, right? Provision, all these things. But in order for him to protect you, don't you have to be in some form of under his coverings? So if you step off and you go do your thing and he's not around, how can he protect you from all the forces that you can't see? Because a woman can't see all those forces, right? When someone whispers in her ear, she just going by how she feels. Well, I feel like right now, man, you know, I may be sneaky, or I may do this, I may do that. His analogy and how he's explaining the story, it makes even better sense than what's in the Bible. And I'm not against the Bible, right? Because I'm just not, but I read it for guidance. I read it for information. I don't read it for religious purposes because there's thousands. It's a myriad of lessons that's in the Bible that one can relate to depending on where you at in your lifetime. You can be 8 years old, you can be 38 years old, you can be 18 years old, you can be 58 years old. All depends. But at some point in your life, they talk about finance, they talk about relationships, they talk about building, they talk about character, they talk about the yin and the yang, they talk about, so it's so many things. That's why that's been the greatest bestseller for eons. Smash that like button if you agree. So there's nothing wrong with the Bible, reading it as a novel or reading it as far as guidance. Well, we all know that nowadays they taking things out of the Bible, especially the church or the LGBTQ community. They taking things out of the Bible and reversing everything. The rainbow used to be a form of prosperity. Now it isn't. It lacks a lot of integrity and prosperity. Now that has been hijacked by a community that misrepresents it. Check out what happened on Easter. Check out what happened at the Olympics. Imagine if you had your kids, right, in front of the TV screen, which the Olympics is a family thing. It's a family gathering event. And they just programmed that or announced that inside of the TV. When they had the Last Supper, I said, what a disrespectful organization. Look what they did to the Christian community. Who's going to say something about this one? Because this one right here was far-fetched. It was wild and it didn't make sense. And it seemed like they taunting that community. Why? You know, why? Same thing with the schools. Now the schools, the kids basically can come home and say, hey, mom, hey, dad. Well, you know what? I changed what I identify as. I identify as this now, without them telling the parents. And the school can actually govern and keep it a secret between them and the kids. So the school is now the kid's parent. What? That's just like if you go and imagine you have a daughter, you're going to and a trans man, whatever they identify as, walk into the bathroom. He don't even sit down. He stands up and use the urinal. What would you do as a man? Just as a man, just to protect your daughter. What would you do? So these are the things. Just because it's law don't make it mean mean that it's true or it's facts. Just because it's law. It's a lot of laws that that's wicked, that doesn't really benefit society, but it may benefit a group of people. We'll leave some laws down below that you think that benefit a group of people, but not society. Maybe you can start off with taxes. Maybe that's one of them. But Corey, you got the floor.
If you was with her, the devil would have been like, y'all want this? You'll be, hey man, go on with that bullshit, man. But if your woman in the street without you, the devil can get to her. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is my interpretation of the Bible. That's why God kicked them out the garden, because they ate from the forbidden tree. God was like, God damn, Adam, how you let the bitch eat the apple? You know, Adam was like, you gave me the bitch, what I'm supposed to do with it? So it went bad. Yes. And we started living in sin. Right. We didn't start dying until Eve and Adam both. They ate from the forbidden tree. He was listening to his bitch. You ain't supposed to listen to your bitch extensively. You're supposed to love your woman, but if she talk too much, you got to cut her off. Every time my woman talking to me, if she say more than 10 words at a time, I'll be like, bitch, just wait. God damn it, you're talking to me. You're going to get me to listen to you. I don't need to listen to you. You throw me a text or something like that, you know what I'm saying? I'll read it at my will. That's how I'm supposed to have a long conversation with your woman. I know.
So, throw me a text. I'll read it in my will. Basically, he's saying that a man is supposed to lead and a woman is supposed to follow. We can cut the jokes, right? But I can decipher what he's saying. A man's supposed to lead and a woman is supposed to follow. It is never supposed to be the opposite way around. Nowadays, women want to lead. They want to be equal. They want to be this. They want to be that. Knowing that being equal leads to what? It leads to feminism, right? Which then leads to the alphabetic community, right? Which then leads to destroying the nuclear family, right? Which then leads to them going to court for child support instead of getting the support from the child's father. You get it, what I'm saying? And it's a reason why. Let me drop some facts to you. It's a reason why they want you to go to child support at the courts, because the courts get paid off of you going to child support too. The city get paid. That's why the women's rights is so powerful, because it can literally, and it's targeted too, because they know women are emotional. It can literally destroy the whole family dynamics. Can we talk about it? Well, let's discuss.
No, this sounds like it's crazy because you younger than me, Cam. You younger than me. I don't know how much I got you by.
See, for me, I don't judge.
You don't judge?
No.
What?
Oh, okay, that's cool then.
No. So everything that you got going on, it's
He might be sizing Cam up like, hold on, what you mean you don't judge? We all judge, right? At least, like, do you have some form of standards, or do you have like some non-negotiables, some things that you like? You know what? Ma'am, you can't do this, you can't do that. I could do this, I could do that, because y'all not equal. Y'all not equal. So how you think and how she think will always be some form of differential. When you start thinking like her, that's when you know she got you. When you start to think like her, you know what, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to appease to her. No, she needs to do whatever it takes to appease to you. You the one that got to carry the boatload. You know what I'm saying? You the one that got to make sure that you land or you hit the shore as a man. So this reverse psychology thing really doesn't work, right? You got to play your role. She have a role to play, which is very important. Not downplaying or talking down upon women. No, I'm actually uplifting them. She had a role to play, which is so important, and you have your role to play, which is so important. But what I found out about society is when they flip flop the roles, that's when everything starts to create chaos. Man on man, woman and woman. It's supposed to be God, man, woman, and child. I keep using this as an example. That's the hierarchy. Anything outside of that, nonsense, doesn't make sense. It creates chaos. But let's continue.
it's my job to ask you the questions. Your job to you can ask me questions too. And we just gonna have a funky ass conversation.
Like I said upstairs when we was first talking, I think you try to be a gentleman. I really think, I think you go out your way to be a gentleman.
And I think that nice guys finish last. Smash that like button if you agree. Leave your thoughts down below. Now, it's a difference in making sure that you're handling your business rather than just simply just being nice. Because a lot of people just being nice and they are getting taken down. Everyone is misusing and abusing them. Now, there's nothing wrong with using someone, but when you misuse someone, that's problemos, right? Do you agree? So being a nice guy, you really don't get anywhere, right? You have to be a firm, stern guy, right? You have to steer the ship. You have to drive the ship. You have to fly the spaceship. Whatever you want to do, it has to be you as a leader. If you want to lead her to destruction, then as a man, if that's what you want to do, that's on you. I don't advise it, right? I would never advise it. But nonetheless, it goes to show that you're the leader and she's the follower. That's it. It's like the simplest things in life, it becomes the most difficult. I don't know why, when life's supposed to be so simple. But let's continue.
This is what I think.
Okay.
I can't say it's a fact, but I think you try to be a gentleman. Do you know in this world that we live in now, that's going to be held against you because you conduct yourself as a gentleman? People will talk to you like
this.
You stupid.
Facts.
Because I ain't going to lie. I know we was going to get to the shit, but I saw a heifer.
I see where you're going.
He judged me.
I said, no, I'm just trying to, I'm telling you, we driving together. We're going to get to Dr. Brown.
You driving. I'm following you.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. But I can't let you speed.
Okay, cool.
Because it's a speed limit here.
Okay, cool.
You dig what I'm saying?
We'll save it for later.
What I'm trying to ask you, you've made a joke about abortion.
Of course.
You've made a joke about the Bible.
Yes. Well, it wasn't a joke.
Okay.
These are facts.
Which is, that is subjective to how you think.
No. These are facts. Bitches kill kids. Ain't no doubt about it.
Okay.
Bitches kill kids.
Cool.
Is that a fact?
That's a big fact, right? But people you know what people going to do? They're going to downplay. Why did you have to call them the B word? The man is a comedian. If this world had became so feminine, right? You can joke around. You can play around. Because last time I checked, 2 things for certain, 3 things for sure, is that when women talking to women, they call themselves all types of bees. All different sorts. Tall bee, small bee, skinny bee, large bee, big bee, all types of bees. Backdoor bee, hood bee, political bee, all types of bees, So at the end of the day, it's like he's just expressing himself. Some people might attack the fact that y'all think that he's degrading woman. I don't think he is at all. This is comedy. right? Get up out your feelings and laugh, because it's going to hit home if it's the truth. And if it's not the truth, the truth is undeniable. The truth is very much so undeniable. But let's continue. I thought this was a great interview. I thought they did a wonderful job on the different subject matters, right? That's just my opinion. But let's continue.
I'm asking you.
I think it's a collective.
That's that gentleman bullshit.
No, it's just a fact.
Bitches kill kids.
It's a fact. So my question to you is: freedom of speech dead in comedy, or should it just be something where the get out of jail free card was, bro, it's a joke, bro? Like, shit.
I think some people take advantage.
You know what I think, right? I think that freedom of speech is being attacked on all levels. It's been attacked on all levels, and in order to have a healthy discussion, you have to have some form of your own opinion. This is how you formulate a conclusion and or come into a compromise. So, but if everyone is in the room is saying the same thing, I don't want to be in that room. I want to be in the room where I say something and somebody might say something else that's challenging, and then we come to an agreement and or a conclusion and say, haha, I may not have thought about it like that. Repeat what you just said, rather than, some people are get-wits. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'll make sure that, and it could be the most diminishing, lack of ethics, unmoral thing. And you like, yes, okay, I'll do it. No, where's the integrity? Speak up. Speak up, because what I've noticed is that people don't even know when they right or when they wrong. They don't know right from wrong. They don't know their left hand from their right hand. You would think that people would know these things, but what I figured out is that your assumptions sometimes is what may get you left. Your assumptions can be misleading, so don't assume anything. Don't assume that they know what you know. Break everything down for them to say, hey, this is this and that is that. I thought that you knew this, but me thinking that you know something isn't a fact. Now, is it? But let's continue.
But freedom of speech in comedy is going to go down with people like me who don't care about being blackballed, cancel culture, all that shit don't bother me. Hollywood's scared of me, and I believe Hollywood is scared of me because you got an alpha right here who might speak his mind. And if you speak your mind in Hollywood, they're going to get rid of you. Hollywood, you have to be controlled by the weak. The weak control Hollywood. The people who not really talented. The people who not really talented control Hollywood. They control the record industry. They basically run everything. The talented people are the people who don't make no money, but they create everything. In the end, you up out of here broke.
That makes sense. Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Prince. Look at all the greats. Look at Bob Marley. Look at Malcolm X. Look at Martin Luther. Well, we don't know which side of the table he was on. Look at Marcus Garvey. Look at the greats. It seemed like all these people was beheaded because of the truth or them trying to attain something called power. See, because I look at money like this. Money is imaginary. Not saying that you don't need it in the world. You need it in this realm. Oh, yes, you need a lot of it. You need Hank, right? You need Hank in this world. But at the same time, mucha money, a lot of it. As much as you're supposed to live your life in abundance, as much as you want, you can attain and you can get. They printed it in the machines. They are printing it in the minting machines. But saying it all to say, if they print it in the machines, right? And it's an imaginary, it's basically an imaginary, you can only see, I notice the society will only give you the money, right? But when it comes time for power, you get beheaded. You end up being missing. Something end up going wrong. A plane might crash. You like, how? I got on this plane 1,000,000 times and it happened to crash this. So all I'm saying is that the power is it's a different ball game. And the power comes with a lot of murder. To me, that's the way I see it. It's different than the money game, because first you get the money and then you power. One thing I know, two things I know for certain, they don't let you get power in this round. Because you getting power can spark a whole revolutionary war for people to want power, and then their power will be challenged on a mass level. Do you guys agree? I agree with Corey what he's saying. He's making jokes, but his jokes make sense.
Because you are one of the people who create. The creators don't really get money.
You're the mule.
Say that you're the mule. Well put, brother.
That's it.
You're the mule. All the people who making money off the creativity that's going on in the world are the motherfuckers who not creative. So when I get to Hollywood, I try to be as nice as I can because I'm really a nice guy, I think. I consider myself a nice guy, but they see the potential in me to say what they don't expect people in Hollywood to have the guts to say.
Same thing. I think this is the same why they fear Trump, because Trump say whatever he want to say, whenever he want to say it, and however he want to say it. This is one of the reasons why I think they fear this man, because you can't stop a man that really don't need you. Let me repeat. You cannot stop a man that really don't need you. But let's continue. You can only stop a man that's dependent upon you. I want that to sink in for a second. For the people that's in the back, for the people that's just coming in, you cannot stop a man that's independent, but you can stop a man that depends on you, or you being the system.
So I'm an outcast Hollywood-wise, but the streets chose me. That's why I'm able to do what I want to do, shop where I want to shop. Because the streets chose me. I love the streets. What's up, y'all?
But as you're giving this surface level kind of, or an abbreviation of what you've experienced Hollywood to be, is there any tangible examples that you could say, hey, I'm gonna tell you a motherfucker who's extremely talented. He ain't getting paid what he's supposed to get paid, but Hollywood is using this motherfucker to blah, blah, blah.
That's everybody.
Like?
Listen.
Because I'm trying to weave through. I'm in this position to really kind of identify. I understand what you're saying. There's obviously certain truth to what's being said.
Facts.
But not knowing your story may be different than my story or experience, so to speak.
Cam, I gotta tell you something, bro. What you saying now, this is what I think.
Listen.
You are programmed to think, let's make peace. But there is really no peace. It's people stepping on your motherfucking head and giving you scraps. Even though I'm sure when you...
That was a great synopsis. To me, that make all the sense in the world. Because why are you looking for something, right, that's actually in the inside? See, you look for God within, right? And you look for peace within. If you go out and walk out in this world, right, and look for peace, as soon as you walk out that door, you are at war. You're literally at war. You're a soldier. Rather you know it or not, you're a warrior. You're a spiritual warrior. However you want to put it, you still at war because it's still good and bad. Every day you have a choice. You could be good, you could be bad, you can get wicked. And I'm not saying it's a time and place for everything, because if you got to protect yourself, you got to get extremely wicked. That should be justified. But you can't just be wicked and not control your actions, because with that comes consequences. You know, so I totally believe that. I totally believe that when you walk outside your door, you're at war. Don't think that you're not. Every day you're at war. When it comes inside your home, hell, if you don't have a wife or a woman that's not nagging, that's not doing this, that's not doing that, you may be still at war in your own house, which isn't good. You're supposed to be at peace in your house and within yourself. So, and think about it. How was this world built? It was built off chaos, on violence. So you thinking that that's not in existence when you walk out this door in 2024? Let me know what you really think about that. Where do you find peace? Within or without? Within or outside of self? I want to know what the audience think.
You played, you made some money, but it was scraps versus what you should have made. You should have had stock in the team in that little pussy ass town. And I love my people out there in Charlotte. The real motherfuckers know what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying, the stadiums and things get filled up by people like you, people like Jordan, I'm talking about the people, the standout talent. But you don't get the amount of money you deserve. You selling these joints out. You should have stock in teams.
Facts.
If you get what I'm saying. The reason I'm bringing that up is to let you know, I'm not exaggerating at all. We don't get what we supposed to get because we are basically in chains. We're in ball and chains right now. But they give a couple of us a couple of dollars so we can shine and make people think it's something out there. But ain't nothing out there. We ain't got shit. They killing us in all kinds of ways. They putting crazy shit in the food now. And ain't nobody even checking them because we just live it out, live our time out, get cancer or something later on and die.
So is there
pause? We're not going to skip over that point. We are not going to skip over that point. This is a healthy discussion. Can we talk about it? Now, Corey, he said nothing wrong. He said everything right. That was a great synopsis. That was a great, he analyzed it quite well, right? He summarized it quite well. Now, I was telling people that if you have something called the FDA, right? The Federal Drug Administration, and these people are supposed to check the food. Why a certain food you can eat in the United States and a certain food you can't eat in Europe? Why the ingredients overseas is 10 times better than the ingredients here? Like we making lab-made ingredients in the United States of America, right? Why it's cancer and everything? You drink a bottle of water in plastic, that could be cancerous. You stand in front of the microwave too long, that could be cancerous. People dying off diabetes and sugar and being obese and overweight. But yet when you tell them, hey, you may need to lose some weight, they say that you fat shamed them. No, you got to start shaming people to let them know that that's not what society really want, because you don't want people to just go directly to a funeral or get their big toes cut off because of this, or they're on dialysis and XYZ. So if you don't tell them, how would they know? If you accept it, they're going to keep growing into that massive person, which is unhealthy. Can we talk about it? So with that being said, I always told people that the next thing that they're going to have a recall on is humans. They're going to be like, everyone born in 1992, you have a defect. Everyone born in 1994, Latina, you have a defect. Anyone born in 1995, a Mexican, you have a defect. They're going to start recalling humans next, because look at all these things we're consuming, and we're thinking that these things are supposed to be regulated, but on whose regulation and what's the criteria on these regulations, right? Because I don't understand how some foods and coloring get passed and then they snatch it back off the shelf. Is that what the money do? 9 times out of 10, that's what it do. But let's rock out.
Any type of blockage to comedy, in your opinion? Or should it be a free world of, bro, in any type of creative process, I could talk about anything and should be able to talk about anything with how...
I think with comedy and all parts of entertainment, we need to go back to where there's talent scouts, scouting talent.
That makes sense.
And we get a chance to see the best of us.
You know what I think? I honestly think that the internet messed a lot of things up. It changed one's perspective and how they view things and their viewpoints. Because the internet is like, you no longer need to scout out good talent. You can just grab a software, you hop on the screen, you hop online. It doesn't mean that you're good, but it means that you have access to something. And I think that's why in like some third world countries, I kind of understand why they live so long and all of these things, because I pay attention. I say, well, they have a lack of access to things. When we go over to the States, which is the Americas, right, we have access to so many things. We have access to life, but we also have access to death on an everyday basis. And it could be, and it's your choice. So I think the accessibility, which this is a free world, is as free as the world as it could be, right? That has its side effects. Do you agree? And if you don't agree, let me know why you don't agree. Let's have this conversation.
Instead of those that were chosen, like the industry plans. Our stars are chosen by the people who are in charge of Hollywood.
Right.
We're not seeing the best talent.
Right.
Trust me when I tell you. Some of the best are in the underground, and when they show up and you see them perform, you say stuff like, oh my God, this person is really stand out. I don't know why this person isn't higher up in Hollywood. It's because they don't fit in Hollywood. Hollywood hasn't chosen them because they won't comply.
Do y'all think, this is for the chat, do you think that Cam Newton is part of the Hollywood schematics? And if so, let me know why. Y'all heard about his ESPN contract. I thought that, hey, yeah, it's a grand opportunity for you to do ESPN, but they need you more than you need them, right? You already played the sport. You already got your own channel. I will run that bag up on my own channel. And then if I decide to get bigger than life, then yeah, maybe. But what y'all think about his contract or his proposal that was proposed by ESPN? I'm gonna give you guys an update to see if he signed it or not, because he don't need ESPN. ESPN needs him. He don't need ESPN. ESPN needs him. But let's go.
Or some would comply if they got the opportunity, and sometimes later on in life they get that opportunity. But
you just said a lot. But one of the things I want to kind of ask is, how long have you been in comedy?
long time, 30 some years.
30 something.
Yeah.
Seeing the dynamic of where comedy is now and where comedy used to be, how do you feel the state of comedy or entertainment is right now for you?
It sucks. We're not seeing the best talent. We're seeing the people who are willing to do what they are told to do. That's what's happening in Hollywood. And it's gonna sound like bitter grapes, because I got people who I care about dearly who are doing well in Hollywood. People who have helped me. Like, oh man, Corey, come here. You know, they throw me a lick. I'm that dude, all you gotta do is crack the door open. I'm like, cool. Like Nick Cannon, for example, he put me on his show.
And that's, you know, that's kind of all you need to do. I agree with him on this one, but let's continue.
And I knew this would be a good commercial for me. You know what I'm saying? For people to see me. But they got stuff that they can't show on MTV that I said, but it rocked the crowd. And, you know, I've talked about this with Nick before, but I expected. I don't fit into that. And I'm not bitter at all. I don't fit into that. As long as I got the streets, as long as the streets can come see me, I'll be able to eat. But I wish that Hollywood wasn't set up only for those who will comply. We need to create a Hollywood of our own, because we can do it if we really want to.
And I agree with everything that he just said. I agree with everything he just said. Most people that's making it in the mainstream was selected or elected. They didn't have to go through the talent school, the rigorous 10 years of doing something, the 100,000 hours, the 10,000 hours of this, that, the third. They were selected and elected. So it actually skips over raw talent, right? It actually skips over raw talent, but we're in the informational age right now where I think we can fix that. Will it be a lot of backlash? Yes. But Hollywood itself was created by the Jewish community. So why can't we create our own Hollywood? You kind of make a valid and vivid point. Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you thought about this one. But leave your thoughts down below. Let's get it, Corey.
You also said something in regards to contracts, and we should be owed more, right?
Pause before we get into that, right?
Okay.
Before we get into that, I wanted to say that I thought that they did a wonderful job. Cam Newton, you're asking the right questions. And as far as reacting to these questions, Corey, or answering these questions, Corey Holcomb, you actually answer these questions to the T. And you had to add your own little twist to the tea as well, right? You add your own lemonade iced tea to the whole thing. You spiked the punch. This was wonderful. I thought this was a healthy discussion, so I had to go over it and thank the people for sending me this to react to, because this is fresh. I love the internet. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So here we go.
Cams of the world, to his impact to Charlotte. Michael Jordan with his impact to the overall NBA and sports as a whole. And even though the compensation is healthy, right? You see quarterbacks making upwards of $60 million a year. And now you see a situation where it's like, that isn't enough. But in business, everything is and should be negotiated. So if you feel like you won't stop, that's a negotiation that somebody has to be able to say yes or no. Now, in regards to entertainment, in regards to movies, in regards to anything, or even music for that particular matter.
Mm-hmm.
I think coming from where we come from, not having a lot, when we do get some, that's the restitution that we just was looking for. To just say, okay, bro, I got millions of dollars. I'm a millionaire now. Now I can get out of my specific circumstance.
Look, bro, there is no negotiation. You have been allotted this, and you're going to take it because it's more than all the rest of you got. That's what they give us. They don't give us what we deserve. You'll never get what you deserve. You'll never make enough money to save your people. Remember that. But they're making enough money to save the people. It's just they don't want the people saved. They want the people to stay right where they are. So when you're negotiating with your agent or whoever else they have you talking to, they've got an amount they've allotted to you, and you're going to take it because it's enough money for you to shine and walk past all the people. When I first got over here.
Do you agree? I agree with this message. It's in plain sight. I agree with this message.
I went to get some coffee and I saw a man literally, when he was really in the garbage can eating in front of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I say, man, come here, man. Come here. And I gave him $100. I say, man, listen, just promise me you will get a salad and then you can buy whatever else you want with this. Put some green inside you. And of course, he was like, and I don't know if he really gonna buy the salad because he probably don't even know how much he need a salad eating out the garbage can. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't have enough money to save them because it's a lot of that going around by this big Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You know what I'm saying? We don't have enough money to save the people. They made enough money to save the people off what you did.
It's the unity.
That part. And that makes sense to me. They're making all the money off your back, but when it's time to give back to the real cause, we going out trying to find new land and going to Mars and stuff when we have millions of people are starving here. You know, so I think our priorities is backwards. Do you guys agree? I honestly think our priorities are backwards, but let's continue.
Save a lot of people, but they give us this, and we feel guilty when we around our people because we can't save all of them. All we can do is go broke trying to help some of them. You get what I'm saying? So when you say negotiate, we don't have the power to negotiate. We're allotted a certain amount of money, and you won't be making sense not to take it, especially what you said, what they pay quarterbacks.
For sure. But even to this point where you're explaining survivor's guilt or survivor's remorse, shout out to LeBron. But what are we to do? Not work with the white man? Not work at Hollywood as a whole? Because there's a delusion here as a black man who is pro-black. Mm-hmm. Like in the famous words of Issa Rae, I'm going for anybody that's black. Straight up.
I believe you.
But when you speak on certain things in regards to black people look at it like, yo, bro, how dare you talk about black people? I use my platform to entertain, to inform, to impact.
That's great. Great slogan.
Also, as far as inform and impact, under that should be accountability. I'm going to hold you accountable.
Facts.
So whether it's right, wrong, and indifferent, I do believe in accountability on all fronts, not just a black on black thing or a black and white thing. I'll speak on the truth in my vantage point, from my vantage point. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not opinionated or it's not subjective. But I owe a service to my audience to speak on things. So when you're saying pro-black, that don't mean you can't speak on black situations.
Of course. Listen, man, one day, there was a time in my life where I felt lonely, like, damn, nobody understand me, don't nobody see what I see. And then one day I listened to the Minister Farrakhan, just one of his tapes. And it was the first time in my life I ever said, wow, somebody thinks like I think. Somebody sees what I see. So when I say the stuff I say, it's never to say you can't do business with somebody white, Asian, Hispanic, black, whatever. You have to pick your battles. But I'm saying the reason we speak this stuff into existence, the reason I say this stuff on your great platform, because a lot of people watch it, is so maybe somebody can listen to it and realize you're not crazy, because they don't have this type of conversation on platforms that are ran by
Hollywood.
Hollywood. But it's not just Hollywood. We're talking about, there are people who I call human haters. They don't like humanity. I got that word from Chuck D, human haters. They don't like humanity. So even if you say something that might help the people, they weed you out and get rid of you. But see, we could say that on this platform.
Chat, I forgot I had something in the oven. I'm talking about him cooking, right? I forgot I was cooking. I almost sneezed. Bless me, bless me, bless me. Put bless me in the chat. But I thought Corey Hogan was cooking. I forgot I was cooking a bird in the oven, and I said, my God, let me go check it. I put it in a cast iron and all of that. Now it's looking nice, it's looking right. So let's continue, because we got to eat while we
as long as it is being allowed to be played. You get what I'm saying? That's why we're saying it. We're saving people just by making them realize, no, you're not crazy. What you see is really happening, because in this world, like if you tune in to ESPN, for example, I just don't believe Stephen A. Smith is going to say nothing in reality.
Big fact.
He has to say what will make his boss happy. See, here's a platform where we don't have to say what will make the boss happy. The boss, because
you're your own boss, especially if you have a YouTube channel. You're damn near your own boss. Now, you do have to follow the algorithms and the guidelines, but you got a little bit of control. You got more control than you clocking in a 9 to 5. You got way more control. Now, let's expound, shall we? Shall we expound on Stephen A. Smith? Because the other day he tried to correct Obama for what he was saying, where he targeted black men in order to vote, which was, to me, it wasn't it. The marketing failed to me. But let me know what y'all thought about the marketing, right? It failed to me. But at the very end of the video, I noticed, I said, I forgot he signed to ESPN. I noticed he said, well, other than that, I'm still voting for Kamala. I said, my God, these people can spit in your face. Hachu. Spit in your face. And you're going to say, oh, I apologize. I said, what type of man, like Ray Charles say on that song, what type of man are you? Why do you so? What type of man are you, Stephen A? Because I couldn't figure out what side of the table you was on. When I seen it, if you watch the whole video, you might say, oh, he's attacking, he's making sure that he's speaking up for the people. But at the end of the message, because you got to get the message, right? I caught the message. I got the message. I said, hold on. This man just said all of this, because my IQ is all right. This man said all of this for him to go back and retract and said, you know what? I'm still voting for this. Like, pick your sides. But then I realized he couldn't pick his side, because Corey made it so clear to me. There's no way that he could have picked his sides, because he's getting paid from the people that's telling him what to do. So he has no, let's just say, creative power. He have no creative spirit. It has been conquered. Do you guys agree? Leave your thoughts down below. I want to know.
And you can, because your heart is in the right place in this situation. So you're not really stopping me from speaking freely. No. But I could not speak like this on a program like ESPN. That's why I've never been on ESPN.
Whoa. Hey, while I have you guys' attention, all college
that's facts. That's
football fans. Facts. I need.
That is totally facts. See, they've been trying to block Corey for a while, and they're going to keep blocking him because, like I say, They don't like the people that announce the truth. They don't like that, right? They like the people that they can control, that does listen, that's not an outcast. And that's probably why they like Kamala instead of Trump. I actually see the play clearer than ever before. I see this play clearer than ever before. And I begin to think, well, damn, right? If how strong is this machine? Like, how strong is this? Because if this machine can it's like every week, they make her, even if she's the worst candidate, they make her look good to the best of their ability. Now, trash ain't never really looked good to me, no matter what you put on it. You could put on the bells, you could put on the whistles. It never really looked good to me, but that's just my opinion. What y'all think?
Funds ESPN. And
what funds it?
It's brands, it's partnerships, it's sponsors. That's how ESPN gets paid. First off, it's a public traded company, right? So if they're getting a 7 or potentially 8-figure check from their sponsors, and you're saying something derogatory about religion, politics, abortions, the Bible, we don't want to attach ourselves to that.
ESPN is funded off the backs of people like you. If it was
pause, somebody wanted me to do this, so I got to. Because I think Corey is cooking up. So let's hit the song. Cook up, cooking up that cook up, cooking up that cook up, cooking up that cook up, cook up, cooking up that cook up, cooking up that cook up, cooking up that cook up. I said we're cooking up that cook up. He's cooking up that cook up. He's cooking up that cook up. Let's get it, Corey. You cooking. You are cooking. Computer screen.
Wasn't people like you. I ain't saying this because I'm in your face. I'm saying this because it needs to be said. People like you make ESPN watchable. If it wasn't people like you that they can capture and play on video, nobody will watch it.
Big fact.
ESPN is funded off the backs of the people who don't really get what they supposed to get. The people who rich off ESPN are not the people who are creating the content on ESPN.
He ain't never lie.
We are the creators of all things people want to watch and see. I'm saying guys like us who stand out. Them people who get the big checks, garbage motherfuckers, spoiled kids. You know who they are. Come on, we ain't got this. We know what it is.
I wouldn't agree with that. The garbage, the spoiled, which is your opinion. What I would say is they understand what comes with me signing this check. I can't, if I feel like, man, fuck Corey Holcomb and everything that nigga stand for.
Right.
Man, listen, next topic. Because if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say it. A lot of people will bypass these hard discussions because number one, they don't understand the game, or number two, they understand it and they're not going to get entangled in the riffraff of what comes with how or what they're going to say. I think the most belittling thing in mainstream TV is for you to speak truth about something and it becomes offensive to somebody else, but it's the truth. And now you're forced to apologize.
Don't that hurt? And you ain't did nothing but said what you supposed to say.
It's real. But this is the reality of what people don't understand, right? Platforms like ESPN, platforms like Fox, platforms like CNBC, platforms like NBC, major platforms, TNT, any major whatever. And it also goes with entertainment or music companies like Sony, Universal, whatever. They have the power to shift people's thinking. They call it propaganda. Okay.
It's called mainstream media as well. Yeah, mainstream media does have the power to shift your reality. They're doing it. They shape-shifting right now with Kamala. They're literally shape-shifting people's point of view right now with Kamala, and they're spending billions of dollars doing it. But if you're the one that owned the machine, you're not really spending a thing doing it. You own the machine. You can print an infinite amount. You can add zeros to people's account. A whole lot of them. That's a different ball game. But let's continue. Let's continue because they cooking now. Let's continue.
So when you have things like words like nepotism, or you have words like sexism, there's a lot of truth behind that. But the storylines, right, is impacted by a producer that's going to tell Stephen A, that's going to tell anybody that's on TV, right? Gail King. It doesn't matter who you are. They're going to tell you what to say or what's hot that you should say. Now, if you go outside of that and you say certain things that you personally believe in, and it may be the truth, you're going to have to recant that if it offends the sponsors or the people who are paying the money. Go ahead.
I applied to over 200 tech jobs and got rejected.
That's true, right? That's true, but it's a reason why they do that. It's the same thing that they did with Kanye when you do the what they call it, the anti-Semitic thing, right? They make you apologize for what you just said and XYZ. Do I think that that's right? No. Because ultimately what it does, it shows a bit of control. It still shows a form of control. But let me let Corey answer real quick. Corey, you got the floor. You have the floor.
But you will recant it if you still want to be in that business. But there are some things that have happened on television, magical moments where people just stand on what's right. One day, Kenny Smith walked off the set on ESPN. I mean, on TNT.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. When the Can't Breathe, or it was a movement, right?
See, even though you get programmed, you still have a heart. Kenny Smith showed he had a heart because he couldn't take it another second with them acting like this isn't serious. This is real. And I can't smile it off no more. And I remember when he did that because I was worried about him because I thought they wasn't going to have him back. Because if you stand up for what's right, you are not part of the programming of television in most situations.
Why you think Bob Marley's message was get up, stand up? Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. And what happened to him? They talking about he had cancer. Get out of here. Anybody can see that from a mile away. Get out of here. Really? Or did he unite two people, the PNP and the labor rights? Because I know about what's going on as far as the Jamaican politics, because that's where I originated at. The PNP and the labor rights, right? They've been fighting for years. And these are two white families that have been fighting each other for years. But they're using the black people in order to get their dirty work done. Can we be honest? When he had these men on stage like this, holding hands, he broke the whole worldwide everything. Because never in 50 to 100 years, these families have been fighting for years. I'm talking years upon years. You know how many people died, how many blood shed? It was too many. It was so many. He had the power of unifying these people together. And they basically put away their differences. Once he did that, he was more powerful than both of them because he absorbed both of their powers. Little do they know. At that moment, he was done for. Because he can go anywhere in the world and people will bend and fold and do whatever he told them to do. That's how powerful Bob Marley was. But yet he still live on because his music is so strong. That's that voice, that's that frequency, that's that vibration that you can't see. You can kill the man, but you can't destroy the energy. And that's what they know this already. It's like, it's not like they don't know. This is no secret. Energy cannot be destroyed. Once it's there forever. And ever. And ever. But let's continue.
So what I'm saying is, Brother Cam, when you talk about things, like I said something about abortion earlier.
Yes, sir.
And I said some things about the Bible earlier. Trust me when I tell you there's beauty in the dark. The stuff that people think you're not supposed to say, you really, listen, you are supposed to say certain things, because if you don't talk about it, the people will be programmed into thinking it's wrong to talk about it.
That's why one of my slogans for this channel is, can we talk about it? Because it started there. Can we talk about it? Well, let's discuss. Right? Because that opens up another avenue. See, you don't know what somebody don't know. Let me repeat. You don't know what someone else don't know. So you have to have some form of healthy discussion, and you have to begin to dialogue and talk about it so you can see what they don't know. And if you see what they don't know and you say something, you may not have to say anything at all, for they have observed and absorbed the information from you that they didn't know. That's why we all are one and we all are collective. And ideas bounce off one another depending on who's in the room. That's where creativity becomes very heavenly sent. But people don't understand it. That may be too deep for some folks, right? Let me know if you agree.
There's nothing wrong talking about my interpretation of the Bible. There's nothing wrong talking about aborting babies. There's nothing wrong talking about it. It's just you're programmed to think, oh, he said that. I didn't do anything wrong. I just talk about it. And there's a lot of people who want to hear about it. And you want me to tell you how I know that's true? Because I'm able to eat without being on any of those major media platforms that are out there. A lot of people want to hear about it. More people should hear about it. They should hear the point of view from people who have the courage to stay in the dark without the bank account that comes with working for those platforms, because those platforms, you can make a decent amount of money, as Stephen A. brags about all the time. He rich, but he broke. You rich, but you broke. Let me tell you why, brother. Because you know most of the stuff you say is what your boss wants you to say. They used to have a difficult way of getting that out there with certain reporters. But when they got us saying the dirt, when they got us talking about each other, this is how they get away with it. And if you ask me, Stephen A. leads the charge of us talking.
He make it make sense. They're using us to destroy us. Let me repeat. They're literally using you and I to destroy one another. But this is the same method that I always say on my channel. What did they do with the slaves? They couldn't handle those slaves back then. They was so big, so bulky, no Diddy. They knock them out. But at the end of the day, what they did was got the strong ones to dominate the other ones, and then they end up selling their own people. This is the same thing that's going on in foreign countries now. We wonder why things aren't being built or things aren't being developed. It's because it's some type of leader there that's stopping all of that from happening. And that's their assignment and that's their agenda. So I agree with Corey Holcomb. I never thought that I would agree with this man as much as I'm doing now, right? But we actually have like mindsets. This is why I'm doing this interview for so long. It's been almost an hour, but we're going to continue at least another little 30 minutes, right? We're going to do it to about 1:30, and then I can get some shut eye and wake back up. But let's continue.
About us. That's just my opinion.
Okay, how do you draw the line between, in your world of comedy, being authentic to messaging? See what I'm saying? Like, how do you navigate between authentic and potentially offending people with what you do?
When you're talking to the people, man, when you've been doing it as long as I have, you don't rely on your routine no more. Well, I go up there, I got some routine I do. Yeah, because people really want, there are jokes. People be like, Corey, man, I really wanted you to say the one. So I give them some routine, but I talk to the people from the heart because I done perfected it because I've been doing this a long time. And I really am one of the people who is, in my opinion, I'm doing what I was chosen to do. So I can come from the heart and talk to the people and it be strong like the routine.
You've been doing this, you said 30 plus years.
30 plus years.
When you see the social media comedy
Mm-hmm.
in this realm,
Right. Great.
are you a part of it? Do you fuck with it? Or is it something that is like, that ain't real comedy?
It's the unity of community.
That was great, man. This man is asking all the wonderful questions. Cam, you got it. You got it. You might be one of the best interviewers. One of them, I must say. Give credit when credit due. You asking all the questions that I would ask, and then Corey is answering all the questions as if I was on the other side.
When it comes to the social media comedy,
Right?
I will say this. It doesn't always work when you're standing on a stage live in front of people who paid their money to park, babysitters and everything, and they ready for you to come with it. You can't perpetrate it. Online, you can think of something for a second and then just type it in. But when you out here in front of the people, which is really, it's interfering with the culture of this game. People now are paying their money hoping the show good. When they go see the famous person from the internet, you get what I'm saying? But like I say, there was a time when talent scouts used to go out and recruit the best talent. So when they put this product out there, the product was proven and ready. But if I say an internet comic ain't good, it don't sound right coming out of my mouth. But I'm saying, there's not a lot of them who are ready. And unfortunately, they're put out there in the fire before they're ready. And people remember them as that. This is the time of the internet, Cam. People know us from what we're doing now. There are people who know you from this. They don't even know you from being the great football player you was.
Right.
I take that brother like Nate Robinson. I think didn't he win the dunk contest one year?
Yes, sir.
People don't know him from winning the dunk contest. People know him from getting knocked out by Jake Paul. This is what the internet has done. You get what I'm saying? So when you standing in,
I was just talking about that earlier, how the internet really is skipping steps and it's actually killing out the whole process, right? It's literally speeding things up, but when you speed things up, you lose things at the same time. For example, right? Streaming killed a lot of different things. It killed people's pockets on them making their real money. You remember people used to sell CDs and stuff like that? That's when they really earned from their music or earned from their product, right? Now with the internet, they cut it all off. Now you cut out the middleman, but you also cut out a mass amount of your profit as well, right? Now they're paying you to stream. There's different avenues. We're on the internet, which is a little bit, it's a more expanded version of things. So you get to, as far as marketing, you get to grasp a lot of people all at once. But at the same time, that one-on-one or that in live person energy exchange, it isn't there. Me coming through the screen right now, yeah, you can feel my energy, but yeah, it will be a bit distorted because it's not direct energy. It's not kinetic energy. Right? I can touch the screen right now like this, but you don't know, you can't feel that touch. Rather than if we're in person and I say, bro, what's going on? Dap you up, a female, give me a hug. You don't know that people are even coming for that. That's why meet and greets are so popular. So I understand that the internet, it has its good, but it also has its bad. It has its yin and it also has its yang, right? So we have to find that medium. We have to find that balance, which is generally hard to calibrate. But let me know what y'all think about that.
in front of that camera, you are putting yourself out there to be remembered as this. And I say this especially to the beautiful sisters who put themselves out there in a way on the OnlyFans side of the game. This is how you're going to be remembered. So remember what you're doing. Is it worth it?
And the term for it is called your digital footprint. So what you do online, what you say online is going to follow you for the rest of your life. because that's what they're going to do to calibrate you, is to go against your resume, but to see where they want to slot you and see what your identity may fall under. Is he high risk to talk to? So all I'm saying is that I agree with Corey on this one. It's hard not to. It's hard not to.
It might be for some people, you know what I'm saying?
But
Here come the gentleman shit.
no, it's not the gentleman. It's just a different perspective.
I'll give it to me.
Okay, so we know T.I. as.
I know him as a rapper.
Okay, cool.
Me
Now,
too.
T.I. has ventured into comedy.
I've never heard about T.I. doing comedy. Have you guys heard about T.I. doing comedy? I've never heard of it. I thought he was a rapper too, and then he gave that up, and he's on to maybe doing some type of entrepreneurial business work, buying things. But you know, he already got the money, so he's just trying to make that grow.
Yes.
You don't see T.I. as a comic?
I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I have never watched my brother T.I. perform. And the reason I have never watched him perform is because I want some time to let it bubble. Let him get into what he's doing. Because I know he's just jumping into it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to judge it yet. I want to see him 5 years in.
Right.
Then I'll be like, let me watch my brother T.I. do comedy. Because I know when it comes to rapping, he one of the best.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But it takes time. I don't want to see the open mic T.I. I've never said this to him, and I know him. In fact, I know him in a way where I'll be like, me and T.I. cool, you know what I'm saying? But I've never watched his set, not one time, because I want to see him grow and get that. There's something that happens in comedy, and
You want to give him room to develop, because just because you switch career path don't mean that you're going to be at your best as soon as you switch. You got to put the work in. You got to put the time in. You have to develop yourself. You have to try, fail. You have to have people to laugh, have people not to laugh. You have to build your software. You have to run it. You have to test it so many different times. And then you only have to be right once, and it's over. But let's continue.
and other things as well, where you become on stage really who you are.
Mhm.
When he gets
Yeah,
ready to
yeah.
become who he is on stage and talk about the stuff, the elephant in the room, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
The stuff that he might be like, oh, that's touchy, don't touch on that. When he becomes that, he gonna really have a lot to say.
So how can you give grace to T.I. for allowing him to evolve, but that girl on OnlyFans or that person that we've seen as a sexual entity or a sexual vixen, when she becomes a DJ, when she becomes a comic, when she
I think Corey may be right about Cam Newton. Mr. Nice Guy. Mr. Nice Guy for sure. Definitely. Because he's still trying to bring it back and weave it back all the way to, oh, well, what if women do this? They're not like us. They're not the same. So they will be held in a different degree. If she decides to do OnlyFans and then she decides to get married a couple of years later, she will be known as doing OnlyFans. They won't know her for being married because people care about your past as well, especially like stuff like that. It's a different, what I'm saying is that it's a different criteria. I think that's a good word. For it is a different criteria amongst men than it is amongst women. Let me repeat. It is a different criteria. It's a different regimen, right? There are different solutions, and let's just say there are different protocols for different species. Men being one of those, and a woman being one of those, male being one of those, and a female being one of those. They are a big difference. So you keep on trying to make it seem like Cam Newton giving me this equality vibe, to making it seem like if it's that, when it's actually judged on a whole another stratosphere and or another realm. Do you guys agree with that message? If so, let me know. And if you disagree, I would still like to know why. Let's get it.
becomes a sex symbol at a higher wave, it's not respected.
Well, if you out here just busting down for the game, it's not respectable, Cam. If you a girl
Right.
and your whole thing you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this. I don't really want to watch you right now because what you're doing is something that I feel like it's a form of desperation.
Desperado.
Does that make sense to you? I'm trying to make sure I explain it in a way where it's straight up.
It makes a lot of sense, but I do think your thinking is a little skewed.
How?
Okay,
Because I don't want to see the sister bust down?
No, because one of the most impactful females in the world,
Who?
when the world first came to know who she is, was because of a sexual act.
Paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong.
Who is he talking about? Like Cam. What are we talking about now, Cam? I really would like to know what we talking about now. Let's get back to it. What?
I get that. The woman I love the most used to do some strange things. She used to do some strange things. And she's evolved into something. So I get what you're saying. But
hold on, stop. I'm talking about Kim Kardashian. Who are you talking about?
It's a lot of girls I know who used to bust down when they was younger.
Are we gonna keep it funky or we gonna keep it funky?
I'm saying like the reason I won't put their name out there because it'll drive drama to them and they're not living that lifestyle now.
But this is how you can still make it make sense. I'm not trying to be messy. I'm not trying to be.
No, I don't think you're trying to make it messy at all. I'm just trying
I'm trying to add to the context because I don't want people to be assuming like, oh, that motherfucker.
Do you think Kim Kardashian, we said her name, that's why I'm using it. Do you think she's different now than who she was maybe 5 years ago when she was jumping from guy to guy?
No, I think she's actually the same. She's literally the same. But let me see what Corey gonna say, because he giving me Mr. Nice Guy vibes. You might be food for the females. You might be food for the females.
At this particular point, we're talking about 15 years ago. Because 5 years ago, she was married. If my circumstance
don't mean nothing. She belonged to the game.
Yeah.
I remember when she was on that Tom Brady roast. I was like, boy, I can't believe they didn't let her have it. Because she was on there. I'd have been like, they ain't even had to rent out no big venue like that. Everybody could have sat in that big ass monkey between her legs.
He roasted her again now, didn't he? Pot roast. Oh man.
I had to throw that in there. I had to go ahead.
But she's literally, or her mother has profoundly used that to catapult their whole family's.
You're absolutely right.
So it's something has to be said that, okay.
Her mother was pimping the whole situation. Let me give you the backdrop. The mother was the P, the mother was the pimp, and the daughters and them, they was the player. The mother was the pimp and the daughters and them was the player, right? The mother knew everybody in the industry. So I found it a little bit wild and weird that the mother pimped her own daughter out for the monies, and they did it for the money. But look how many lives they changed, right? That's why I believe that just think about it. Look at all the stuff that this women put on in order to classify themselves as being beautiful. The lashes, the wink, wink, make you think, you blink, blink. The hair, long hair, short hair, pink, human hair and or Indian hair. They got the nails everywhere. Long, short nails, French, white nails, no Diddy, because you never know that type of situation. Prostitution nails. Then they have the breast implants. So everything fake. So I begin to say, well, damn, man, how could I trust somebody that's so fake? It's no way. You got to slay her and leave her. You got to get in and get out. You got to bust her down and bust out. You know, they look good. They look good as hell. Eye candy. But I don't want diabetes. They look fabulous. Right? I grab on it. We can have some fun with it. You know what I'm saying? but I ain't trying to have no son with it. You get what I'm saying? Because men like things that's very exclusive that other people don't have. A real man, that's what we like. We don't like the things that's easily accessible. And if she look that good, she's gonna be easily accessible because most guys are visuals and most guys are gonna simp out or trick off on her. A lot of people are tricks. That's what I had to realize. And I said, you silly rabbits, I thought tricks were for kids. It seemed like they're for adults. Tricking hard. Tricking very, very hard. So that confused the real guys out here. And I'm sure it confused the ladies like, well, somebody gonna take us, somebody gonna deal with us. And they wonder why nobody truly deal with them. And or if someone they happen to deal with them, it ain't gonna be the person that they want. It's gonna be the person that wants them. And last time I checked, a woman's supposed to chase you, and you're not supposed to do any chasing. You're supposed to have it straight. I mean straight. But let's continue. I don't think Mr. Nice Guy really knows.
Kim K, we know how we first came to understand who she is.
Mm-hmm.
But what she's been able to do since then has been nothing less than something that needs to be studied in a way where, call it what you want. I'm the one that's gonna give her her flowers because she's a media juggernaut.
But what did she do? Do you know who her mother is, first of all?
For sure.
Okay. So.
And so it was who gets the credit, the mother or her?
The mother.
The mother. She turned people that are talentless into everyday names.
Right.
Because of her plug in the industry.
Right.
Have you seen some of the people this lady was around? I'm talking about in the 90s. I'm talking about Kim Kardashian mama. She plugged.
Kris Jenner.
All them. OJ. I mean, the lawyer.
That
you know what I'm saying? It's like this lady is connected in the industry. So yeah, it's not nothing to hold up as beautiful. It's just this is what they had to do to get that paper. They had to do dirt to get the paper.
But that's the game, though. So my thing is, it's all my take from this is she's evolved. Right?
What?
No different than T.I.
Into what? Look at how my man look at how Corey Holcomb looking at this man now. From player to player. Look at it. It's on the screen. Corey Holcomb looking at it like, oh yeah, you might be. Oh, you might. Oh, I know how you think. I got you figured out, Slim. I got you figured out. Look at him. Look at him. Corey right here. Look at him. He like, I got you figured out. Can y'all see the cursor on the screen? I got you figured out. I got you figured out, Cam. I got him figured out too. Girls probably be running games on him, I hate to say. All the games that they want to run. Because guess what? He don't have any requirements and he ain't judging. And yes, he have Hank, right? He have the money, but that don't mean that just because you had the money, they're gonna respect you. They can respect somebody that's broke. They don't have no money at all. But they understand, you know, when the alpha is in the room, or when that guy's in the room, they in the room. Let's continue.
Has evolved. Rapping, similar to athletics, is a young man's sport. Would you agree?
Yes.
So
how do you compare him to Kim? I don't understand. That's what you.
The comparison is evolving. So we've known Kim to be a sexual beauty. We've known T.I. to be a rapper. T.I. has morphed or he has evolved in expanding into comedy. Now, that sexual beauty is now one of the most influential females on this planet and is a business mogul.
Maybe it's something I don't know what's going on right now. You're telling me the girl who was on the tape with Ray J with the flat ass, and then all of a sudden her ass started popping.
Right.
Which her mother orchestrated. You know, her mama probably saw the tape. We got to get you an ass, bitch. But I'm just saying, you're telling me she's a mogul in some way?
No, she is. Let's put the jokes aside. I'm
asking you to give it to me. Show me how she's mogul.
Definitely a media mogul by her her involvement in just fashion, she's now trying to use her platform for good to dabble.
No, I gotta pause it. Because did somebody tell you to say this? Was this on script or off script? Because you really believe that she's a mogul. And how? In a good way or a bad way? Because in a way, you could say that she is a mogul because she led a lot of women off the damn cliff. You know how many people wanted to be like her? Lip injection, butt injection, boobs injection. You know how many kids, innocent kids, that her life she destroyed off of just them assuming that this was it. The pain that they had to go through, they thought that was the definition of being beautiful. The girls are confused right now. They think that that's what guys want, but we just want to smash and grab, and then after that, we gone. So that's not what we truly want. It's a mass confusion, and she let it. That's why she got all the monies. So I want to know, Cam, what world are we living in here? Are you so all the way up there that you don't even understand what's going on down here? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe your foot in the air is not on the ground. Maybe it's in the skylines. It's not on the ground. I'm just saying it's a different viewpoint from a mountaintop viewpoint from actually being in the valley. That's all I'm saying.
Into prison reform, as well as representation of certain people who she may have felt got their wrong due. And I think a lot of times people see one side, but not acknowledge it when it's another side too. So that's the comparison. I'm not trying to compare T.I. to Kim Kardashian. What I am saying is you have two people that started as one thing, or people knew them as one thing. They've evolved into something else. And in one case, we accept it in T.I. And then in another case, it's like, oh, well, she's still the chick that had the sex tape. But no, she's not that no more. Not to say that she's not having sex. I'm saying
guys care about where women have been, and a woman cares about where guys going. Let's just start there. Guys care about your past. Women care about, I wonder if his future is bright. So I can tag along. We can get along, and I could be the beneficiary. So Cam, can we talk about it? Let's discuss. Smash that like button, subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you can put me through the algorithm, because Cam is throwing me off right now. I'm talking about all the way off in the deep end.
She has been able to leverage at that as a situation as we once knew her as this. She's not that no more.
T.I. was...
She will always be that, because you got to understand it all depends on what perspective you want to paint it. From a guy's perspective, she will always be that. From a woman perspective, she may not be that. Oh, she's transforming herself. She's growing. She's surpassing where she used to be. But the opposite sex is not going to think like that. The opposite sex literally is going to think opposite. Right? Can anybody correct me? Cam. You giving me Russell Wilson vibes. I'm sorry to say.
A talented platinum rapper. Do we disagree?
No.
He came with talent. This bitch bust down for the game. That's all she did. And because of her connections with her mama, they able to stay relevant.
What Blueface say? Bust it down, Tatiana. Bust it down, Tatiana. Bust it down, Tatiana. Bust it down, Tatiana. Woo! That's a vicious way to be known, man. That's one hell of a way to be known, because no one will ever forget that.
What is Kim Kardashian finna do that's talented? Everything they doing is a play.
Right.
I'm saying she's trying to get into politics and stuff like that because they're trying to stay relevant and keep that name in the air. But I don't see no talent from Kim Kardashian, but maybe she's talented in bed or something. I don't know, but I'm just saying, what has she done where you'll be like, oh, here's Kim Kardashian, let me watch her.
Okay, so
She's forced upon us because of connection.
This is my last thing about this. It's either one or the other. Who has more influence? T.I., who has talent, or Kim Kardashian?
I'm gonna answer that honestly now.
Yes.
People like
No.
me.
No.
You want me to say what you want me to say?
No, I don't want. I want you to
Okay.
say, answer the question.
I was just gonna answer the question.
But don't go into this and that. Just say say the answer and then explain the answer.
Okay, I'm gonna just go straight to it.
Yes, sir.
Every time Kim Kardashian is on the TV, I change that motherfucker. I don't know what the bitch talking about. I'll be like, oh, that a hoe is right there. I change the channel. I don't know what she's talking about. So if she doing something in
That was well said. Because at a point, it's like, look, right? And I don't advise like watching porn, but you know, when you was younger, maybe you tried a few things or whatever, right? You wanted to see what this was like and that was like. But after it was all said and done, you was like, ugh, that's nasty. What? I'm just giving you an example, right? Ugh, that's nasty. I ain't trying to look at that. So I kind of get what he's saying. It's like, we already know about you. We heard about you. You probably on your 5th merry-go-round or 6th merry-go-round. I don't know how many that you bounced on. No one knows. It's probably an unbelievable amount of number. Like holy. But at the same time, we ain't trying to see that all the time as a man. We're not. Because we understand that can be one hell of a distraction. Now it's time to have fun and it's time not to have fun. We're not going to say that, but all I'm just saying is that we don't view it that way. You know? We don't view it that way. So I agree with Corey on this one. Who do you guys agree with?
influential nowadays, I'm missing it because I'll be like, oh, that's the hoe right there. So that might be me. But that puts it out there in the game, boy. I'm here to tell you, I don't care what she is. I'm just saying. Do you know her and her mama do the same thing?
But you're not answering the question.
Okay, what question didn't I answer?
Who has more influence, T.I. or Kim Kardashian?
T.I. got more influence to me. That's all I'm saying. I would listen to him if he talk.
Yes, sir.
If Miss Kardashian was talking, I'd be like, bitch, how much to get that pussy? That's all I need to know right now.
Listen.
Fuck you talking about, bitch.
As a native of Atlanta, I have the utmost respect for T.I. So do I have the utmost respect for Kim Kardashian.
On the same level?
In this situation, when you're asking a question, who has more influence, I would have to say Kim Kardashian has more influence than T.I.
That's unfortunate.
But we're talking not personally. I'm talking about just global presence.
I'm not saying it personally either.
Okay.
If Kim Kardashian, if it is a fact that Kim Kardashian has more influence than a man who sold millions of albums of what he said, that's a goddamn shame. Kim Kardashian ain't talking about shit. This bitch is hustling.
That's fine.
Everything she do is a calculated move that is allowed. Please let me say that sentence one more time.
Allowed.
Everything Kim Kardashian does is a calculated move that is allowed. So if you're listening to her, you're being misled. She has not proven herself to be anything that is moral and stand up where you can be like, here go Kim, let's see what she's talking about.
And I must agree with that because that's the same thing that Candace Owens said, and I must agree with that, right? She really don't have a positive effect on people. She don't. It's more so a negative effect and or some type of envy. Which that's how she get her source. That's how she get her money. Because people want to be what? Like her. A lot of people. so many people have been brainwashed to be like her, and they pushing her to the forefront as if she's the standard of what a woman should be. When in actuality, she fell far from the tree. That's not a woman to me, right? That may be the girl next door, 304. Just saying. Smash that like button if you agree. Let me know. We got a couple more minutes to go. Then we're gonna split this video up in half because they did a 2.5-hour interview.
People who watch her are unfortunately the young that are influenced by that lifestyle.
Facts.
It's a tragedy that she has relevance in anybody's eyes. I'm saying, like, what has she done to earn the respect to have more influence than somebody who sold millions of albums of what he's saying? Kim Kardashian having influence is a perfect example of why this world ain't shit. Especially in this Western world, it ain't shit. We listen. What the fuck is you listening to Kim Kardashian talk about?
No. See, this is, and I got to stay here for a second because I
Cam did not get the answer that he want to get. He did not get it. But on that note, right? Peace, blessings, and love. Let me know what you really thought about this one. Let me know what you really honestly thought about this one. They talked about religion, right? Which was a great topic. They talked about Adam and Eve. They talk about the freedom of jokes, or what you can, freedom of speech, what you can and can't say and why, right? They also talked about the influence of Kim Kardashian, and was she actually a positive influence on people or more so of a negative influence on the youth, right? So I thought this was a great conversation, and I thought this was a healthy discussions. On that note, hit them links down below. That's all I ask. If you're feeling generous, you can buy me a cup of tea. And I'm adding value, some form of value to you. So make sure you hit them links. It is discounted links. So you can get things for 30, 40% off, right? Depending on what you can build your credit or monitor your credit. You can get EMF, electromagnetic frequency protectors, because we all know that the world is with the internet and the 5G and all of this, the radio frequencies can harm you and cause cancer. So why not protect yourself, right? And we also have some business funding as well. On that note, remember, positivity over negativity always. Peace.